another episode of Good Dunning with myself, Mr. Floyd here. I'm sure there's a few who won't be in the audience any further, but that is all right. How are we doing, guys? Welcome, grateful. And yeah, so we'll see if people pile in and they get their notification or not. But yeah, welcome, guys. My comment has been deleted. Almost time. Who knows? YouTube is weird like that. But welcome, guys. Let's see if anybody else shows up here, and we'll take it one step at a time. Lighty B, Good Dunning. There were 2 live feeds. Your comment was in the other one. Yeah, it somehow got screwed up. What's new? So I just deleted the other one. So everyone will show up here, I'm sure. But if not, it'll just be a few of us, and it'll be a nice, small, intimate crowd. There's a few of us, I'm sure, who are a part of the regular group. I know one who probably won't see again on my lives, but c'est la vie. And bear with me one moment. Drop my... There we go. Soda Light Pillar. There we go. Good Dunning, guys. Welcome. All right, so how we doing, guys? All right, so welcome to another episode of Good Dunning. We'll wait and see if anybody else piles in. There's 3 of us here. And who knows, then we'll make some announcements, get things situated here, and take it from there. Tina, Good Dunning. Laddie, Victor. All right, so we have today's cards. We're going to do a couple different things here. We have the new deck that we got from Karma, the Angel Answers deck from Radley Valentine. It's a deck from Hay House, so it's a nice light deck. And then we're also going to pull a guidance card from Mother Isis today. We've got the Golden Healer we're going to work with, and kind of take it one step at a time. I just slept like Sleeping Beauty. Ah, nice. Fantastic, Millie. Favor to that. But yeah, so how are we doing, guys? All right, so we'll see if anybody else piles in. There's just 3 of us here. So hit the like, subscribe, and the bell if you're watching us in the rewind or the replay. And yeah, we'll give it a couple more minutes before we jump in. So how's everybody doing? Sorry about yesterday, guys. I was under the space and weather, and would not have been the best for me to run Good Dunning yesterday. I was exhausted anyways. But one day at a time. So we've got some changes that are going to be happening here. And I'll go over that with you guys. Jay Harrington, Good Dunning. Welcome. Nice to see you. Welcome to the show. All right, so let's pull some cards here and see what we got, and then we'll take it from there. As people hopefully compiling in here. Friday, and I'll announce this, I'm sure, a couple times here. Friday, we will have Angela live. That one is set correctly. Tomorrow's live didn't get set correctly, but YouTube, you can even set it correctly and come back, and it'll have the wrong time. So if you set a live up on YouTube and you set it for 6 a.m., you can come back and it'll show midnight. So keep all that in mind. So even if I set it correctly, it may have, YouTube does what it does. And so yeah, when you're setting a live up, if you can get the time to sit, sometimes it can take me 20 minutes of clicking schedule just for one live, just to schedule for later, because YouTube broke it a couple months ago, about a year ago. Yeah, Angela, Good Dunning. So yeah, we're gonna have Angela on Friday. Angela will be doing what she does, and of course Friday will be her birthday. So what a better way to celebrate Angela's birthday than to have her live on the channel with us, and it should be fun stuff, guys. But yeah, so let's see who else is with us here. Everybody else is hiding in the back. Yeah, if you're here, throw yourself in the chat. But there's 15 of us here. So yeah, grateful. All right, so let's see what we get with the cards here. We'll make some announcements once we get the more people here. Bombastic says I prop my... Let's see here. Poof. All right, you can say what you want. You're hidden forever. Gone. Kaput. So you can put your pants wherever you want, but yeah, we hide you from the channel. And unless you want to make another avatar or something, another account, you'll never be seen again. You are completely hidden from this channel. If you have a spiritual awakening and decide to not be a butt and want to watch this channel, you can't. Sorry. You can, but we'll never know you're here. All right. So let's cut the cards and see what we've got. I wouldn't know where Gunther is, Greg. Sorry about that, brother. Let's go ahead and take care of this too. It's gonna be one of those days. All right. Community moderation. Ooh, there we go. Just turn the chat off. There we go. Subscribers. And then, oof. There you go. Subscriber mode is on. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and see what we got here with the cards. We're going to cut up the ISIS card here. We're going to pull one out and see what we got from ISIS for today. And we'll work with the Radley Valentine cards as well. Hopefully everybody's having a good dawning. All right, so today's card is the Dark Mysteries. So what is ISIS? The Dark Mysteries from ISIS there. There's her crown, which represents the central sun. Enter the chamber of the Dark Goddess. So let us see what we got here. It's today's Dale's birthday. I don't know if it is. I didn't know it was Tammuz. We didn't do anything for Tammuz's birthday. We found out in Truth Wave the day of, and then I didn't have a show. So happy birthday, Tamitha. Generally she's asleep at this time, but the Dark Mysteries. Let's see what we have here. Anyways, I remember someone in the group say is the 20th. I think it's Dale. If it's Dale, we'll find out. We may if we see Dale, but see here, PQRST. The Dark Mysteries. Let's see what we got here. Temple, temple, temple. Temple, 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 temple. The Temple of. There's like 40 pages of the Temple of in this book. Different cards. All right, the Dark Mysteries, finally. All right, so let's see what we got. The Dark Mysteries. Written by Alanis Fairchild. All right, the Dark Mysteries. Enter the chamber of the Dark Goddess. The Dark Goddess calls you to her inner chamber where she holds a test and a gift from you. The test is your willingness to meet and release fears within that have been secretly holding you back. The gift is freedom, peace, opportunity, and prosperity in all its forms. Will you accept her call? Your time for deeper initiation is here. There we go. All right, so that's the card from Isis there. The initiation into the Dark Mysteries. And speaking of dark, we're going to go over a few things on this channel here. Some changes that, well, at least for the short moment, they'll go back to normal, but physically have to occur, and we'll explain. I mean, unless I fail background check, which is anything possible these days. Oh, wow, Angela, congratulations to your little prince. Angela, what have we got here? Angela, my boy has his first day of second grade. Oh, how awesome. There you go. Those are the moments that... hopefully they're not your karmic as me, kicking my mother out of the bus stop and all the rest, and rather walking to school than getting rides and all that crazy stuff, right? So favor, but yeah, second grade. Oh, to go back in time. All right, so oh wow, Angela, congratulations to you and your little prince. Yes, congratulations for sure. Mo, good dawning. All right, so we'll give it a couple more minutes. I know this is a later pile show. It's going to be an interesting deal shortly, but we'll explain. But generally, people pile in about the first 15 minutes after the show started, which is absolutely understandable, being as what time it is. But how old is second grade? We have different systems here. That's a good question, actually. Second grade should be like, what, 6, 5, 6? I don't know. Never had kids who went to school, so I don't know. Don't talk to any school-age kids either. All right, one more shuffle of the deck here, usually around 7-ish. There you go. That's awesome, Angela. And Angela, again, is going to be live with us on Friday. So Angela's having a great week. She'll be live with us Friday. She's going to be doing her magical music, and she will be celebrating her birthday with us, too. So how awesome is that? Angela will get to celebrate her birthday on Good Dawning with us in Good Dawning. And these did not shuffle. Do you ever do that? Try to shuffle cards, and then they just shuffle into each other, but never get anywhere? There you go. That worked a lot better. Just shuffling over top of not actually shuffling. All right, so these are the angel answer cards. So what we're gonna do is pull a card here. So ask yourself a question. This is we're doing this in a reverse deal here. Okay, we use year 1, year 2, so that's probably about year 3 here. Okay. There you go. All right, guys. So let's cut the cards. Do you have a question? That's a okay, we use you. Okay, there we go. So if you have a question, formulate it now. We're going to pull the card and see what we get. So if you are ready when I am here, so take a moment, think of a question, whatever that might be for you. I guess Lottie, kindergarten, first grade, the second grade here makes sense. All right, so I'm going to pull this out. Are you ready? That's the question. I am. All right, are you ready? 1 and 2 and 3. So what is the question that you asked for yourself? Formulate one if you haven't. And the answer is, I saw this one already. I don't know why it came up again. Okay, we start kindergarten, first grade, second grade, so it makes perfect sense. All right, improving health. So there you go. So if you ask a question, these are the angel answer cards. So we're going to ask one more card here of the angels and see what they get. So the answer is improving health. And finally, we're going to pull the top card. So again, formulate a question for the angels, whatever that may be, for yourself as well. And yeah, and we will go over the answers to that said question here. All right, so here we go. What is the question that you're asking for yourself? I know what I asked for myself, and it says within the next few weeks. So what are you looking to accomplish in the next few weeks? According to the angels there, whatever's happening will happen to you in the next few weeks, give or take. And so ask yourself that. You are welcome. But ask yourself, what are you looking to achieve, accomplish? We are accomplished a few things here. So we're going to go over a few things here. We got a small crowd here. It's going to be even smaller probably shortly. And I'll explain. All right. So I got a new job. Congratulations to me. It's temporary too. So it all times out right. It's just at a company that sporting stuff. And when the sports season, NFL, is over, January, right? The NFL's in January, playoffs. But by then I'll be gone. But they don't, right? So anyway, so grateful. We did find a new job. I won't have to be standing out in the cold for the next 2 months. But what that means is literally for the next, starting September 2nd when I start the job, until November 16th, I work every single day, which is going to be fun. But yes, including weekends. So September, October, and most of November, we have no day off. But that's no big deal. But what it is good dawning is going to have to shift again. Just for September, October. Once I'm out of training, I'm fine. October, November, December, when I'm actually working this job, it's fine. It'll be fine. And Jim Dandy, and then at the end of December, we leave town anyways and leave the job behind. But yeah, so we're gonna work 2 jobs, right? We're gonna do the concert job and the sports job, inbound calls stuff. But yeah, I don't want to give the company out. But so yeah, so we got a new job. The pay is way better, and so yeah. So for the next few months, you'll see very little of me on YouTube, most likely, starting in September. In the dawning, you'll see me more in the evening at that point. But in the dawning, when I go back. So my schedule for November, I have to be at work at 8 o'clock. So how's that going to work, right? So we move good dawning to 5:30. So from 6:30, 7:30. So 7:30 to 8:30, which would be 5:30 to 6:30 my time. 6:30, 7:30, we drive to work. We should be generally pretty good. At that hour, it should be fine. And there we go. So it gives us an hour and a half to get to work. But the show will be timed so that I end it on the nose for the next month while I am in training. And then once I get my shift is from 1:30 to 10 p.m. So you won't see me in anything in the evening ever again for like September, October, November, December. You won't see me in the evenings for anything, most likely, unless I'm on break. Then sure, but you only get half an hour lunch. So there we go. So that's the deal, guys. So from next month, we're going to move the show back 1/2 hour so that I can get my butt to work. But I get off at 4:30, so we'll stabilize. I'll go to bed earlier. It'll be more normal. Yay! We won't have to dash as much on the weekends. Friday and Saturday when I am off, Well, actually, Saturday and Sunday here. When I am off, I will be working um, for the company I've been working for, parking cars and such. And then and then once that's over, Friday and Saturdays, I basically got to go to HR next week and revamp my schedule, which I'll do since I got a real job. But so as of next week, then September 2nd, just until, right? Only September 2nd through the month. We go back a half an hour to 6. Yeah, I know, guys. It's going to be early, and I got to do what I got to do too. But there's no other space to put the show, and per se. And what's even crazier is I'll work till 10, and I'll be getting up at 5 a.m. to do good dunning unless I overtake Care Bear's spot, which was my old spot. So, which is feasible, but that's kind of late. So actually getting up early here leaves me space to at least do stuff before I go to work and be there. I have to be there at 1:30, which means I have to leave here at noon anyways, any day, or 11:30 noon every day anyways. You gotta give yourself an hour and a half to get there all the time, basically, even though it's not the case. So there we go, guys. That is the deal. And there'll be the one day where it's going to take me 5 hours anyways, because it just happens like that. It took me one day. It took me 8 hours to get to Denver from here, but that's a whole nother story. We just ended up bagging the drive at some point and getting off the highway at 1 mile an hour. But yeah, so it happens. Our next lessons include balancing 3D, other days properly. We need to be rooted on Earth. Absolutely. So yeah. So what this is going to do is root me though to be able to, between working every Friday, Saturday, or Saturday, Sunday until I move out of town. So September it's every Saturday, Sunday, and then in October it's October and November it's every Friday and Saturday. So I'll keep my schedule going. I think I have a Sunday or two off. Maybe I have a Sunday. I don't think I actually do. So yeah, no days off, but that's all right. I took enough days off sitting in the dark night of the soul, I guess. But so yeah, so that's what we've got going on, guys. There's a couple more announcements as well. But so yeah, so that's the biggest announcement, that we got a new job. Yay. Not totally secure. I still have to go through the background check and all that jazziola. And so once it's all squared up, we'll let you guys know a little more. But either way, so as of September 2nd, I start work. So this show will kick back 1.5 hour. I don't blame you if you're not here, but then it'll go back October when I quit when we're done training, right? And I go to my regular schedule. Then the show goes back to its regular time half an hour later. But that'll get me to work. And since I'm off at 4:30, we'll be good. But yeah, you won't see me much in so September, I won't be in the dawning, the morning dawning truth wave, unless I just say hi and then run into work. And in the evenings I'll be there, and then we'll invert that, right? And then so there we go. You won't see me in the evening truth waves for us. And this is only, again, temporary because I'm not here, right? I'm not going to be here most likely. So September, October, November, then December, and then we're gone. So we leave. And so we were splitting town. So moving to most likely Cincinnati, Ohio. At that point, my dad is of no cognition to know if I'm even there. And my mother and I can help continue to heal the mother wound by moving to Cincinnati and working with mom. And so one step at a time here. But my dad won't even realize I live in Chicago for the entire time I'm there. So every time I show up, it'll be like, if I move there, it'd be like, whoa, where'd you come from? Every single time. Did you just come to visit? And so, yeah, exactly. So we're going to go do the opposite. We're going to ground into mom and shuffle the universe a little bit more. So good dawning, Angie. If you missed Angie, a couple of announcements here. Again, the show's going to move September 2nd. The show's moving a half an hour backwards, as insane as it is. So, generally I see 5 o'clock anyways, my eyes open. So it's not a big deal. You just hit that snooze or another half an hour of sleep. But instead I just have to get up. So, so you'll see the show from 5:30 to 6:30, and then 6:30, 7:30, 8, poof, I go to work. It's generally about an hour at 6:30 to get to work. So, but we're going to keep the show timed as well. So at 7 o'clock, or 6 o'clock, I should say, 6:30. There we go. We are done no matter what. We're not going to cut it off, but we will be pretty much. We got to wrap it up. Let's go. Bye. Thanks. Have a great day. So for the next month, it'll be goofy. But thanks, guys, for rolling with me and the punches and what's going on in my universe. But so as we get situated here, this will help lead me into a better job when I go to Cincinnati. And yeah, and the scale of economy is going to be totally different, and it could be a whole different deal. But yeah, so the pay here is fantastic. So let's honestly, let's be honest. If this was a full time job, I don't know if I'd leave, but it's only temporary, seasonal. But it's more pay than I've ever received at any other job in my history. So we're doing better than we've ever done. So there we go. So the highest, I just got the highest paying job in my universe. But maybe it's because I see myself in a higher paying position. I see myself as a higher person, right? So if you're looking for a better, yes, Virgo brings routines. It's wonderful. Yeah, there you go. So September, Virgo. So yeah, we're gonna get routines like watch Truth Wave, stay up for another hour, go to sleep, get up at a normal hour, do good donning, go to work, and go to work, and go to work. So the Friday and Saturday, or Saturday and Sunday, I won't be work, but still have my other job that I'm gonna keep the weekends and then all that. But yeah, so starting at the end of September, then my schedule's Sunday through Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So then Friday and Saturday will be off. And I am scheduled every Friday and Saturday until middle of November when Red Rocks stops. But by then they're actually doing shows in the snow. Yes, Red Rocks. You can do a show too if you want to come to Red Rocks in November and sit in the snow. It's quite feasible. Yeah, shows that are like in the 30s and the 20s outside. They do that, and then they start up again in April, and it's kind of very good to hear about your new job. Congratulations, thank you. Once I get situated, I'll give the company out, but you don't generally don't want to do that, just for safety's sake, right? But yeah, so I'll just say this: and it's nothing that I'm proud of. It's the universe puts you where you need to be, right? But I may learn something, and it could make me some money. You never know. It's a sports betting company, and I'll leave it at that. I don't bet sports. I don't bet anything. I don't bet on black or always bet on black or anything. If you know that movie, I don't bet anything. Um, but I bet you one thing: I will make some money and do all right. So there you go. So, but honestly, that's what we're going to be doing, guys. So yeah, grateful. Maybe I'll learn sports betting, but I'm not a big gambler. Never have been. Well, sort of, but not generally. Sounds like you are finally starting to get out of the old and stepping into your future. Thank you, Hershey. Yeah, years and years, and I probably put out over a thousand applications or more, and 99.9% don't even get replied to. So grateful. Yeah, it's gonna be chill. You can wear what you want, and whatever. But yeah, I'll miss you guys in the evenings. I'll miss Hershey in the afternoons, but and I'll miss you. You won't see me as much on YouTube and stuff. I will still be here. I will be putting out shorts and stuff, making sure that I'm seen, the channel seen, that you guys are all seen through it and whatnot. But yeah, and then again, Friday, guys, Angela will be live with us. She's going to be doing her magic, and she's also celebrating her birthday. And so I'm flattered and grateful that she would decide that Friday is the day that she wants to join Good Dawning and be a part of our awesomeness. And so she's going to be live, not Memorex, if you remember that commercial there. And she will be her light language. And of course, we will be celebrating Angela's birthday as well. And yeah, and so fantastic. And if I ever do get to, once I do get to Cincinnati, Angela will have to meet maybe in Middletown, Middle Tucky, and get together and have some coffee or something. Krista. Yeah, so I was just explaining, Krista, the show's going to move backwards, and we got a job, an in-office job that pays quite well, actually, better than most degree jobs in some aspects, or at least a lot of them out here. So grateful, and so yeah, so shifts in the show as of September 2nd. We're going to go backwards a half an hour, but it's all shift, Josh. Go with it. What's meant to stay well. Exactly. There you go. You got it, Millie. What's meant to stay well. Or not. So yeah, so let's work with the curve cards here and see what we get. Such is life. So let's work with the C'est la vie. Yeah, there's a song, C'est la vie. That's just the way it goes. That's right. Oh yeah. C'est la vie, c'est la vie. That's just the way it goes. All right, so let's work with the curve cards here and work with our intuition and see what we get. Sadly, no coffee, no poppy there. I take a mental sip of coffee with you up. No coffee is water. I don't make coffee. The first 2 hours, I'm generally awake. Hour and a half. So I forget the name of the chemical that resets, and so you don't end up with a coffee crash. So generally, I make coffee after good dunning, if I make coffee at all that day, because I don't want the crash. But yeah, so we think it's Dale's birthday today, but Dale is not here, so we can't tell. Dale's pale ale, right? made down the street. But yeah, if Dale shows up, we'll ask him if it's his birthday and wish him a happy birthday. All right, guys, so let's flip up the curve cards here. Again, why do we do curve cards? For our energy, right? So what is energy? We are on an energetic field, right? You are energy in an energetic field, so you're not going to see anything. You're going to feel the energies, right? So as we flip up the cards here, and yeah, you will see the energy and see what we got here. So yeah, so thank you guys for rolling with all the changes here. Again, September, just a half an hour backwards. So yeah, I may feel bloviating to myself for half an hour. I don't blame you guys one iota. That's early, and it's going to be even earlier for me. But so we deal with it. But jawohl, right? So yeah, so we go to bed at midnight. We get 5 hours sleep. There we go. So let's flip these up and see what we got here. Yeah, and then at least we can sleep in a little bit on the Saturday and Sunday before work. But yeah, so for the next 3 months, the only day off I have is Labor Day. There we go. So yeah, so I have Labor Day off, and that may actually get filled in too, and then we'll be off again November 16th. No, the weekend of November 16th, 17th. I think I don't have anything scheduled. So all the way through till then, we will be taking what they're giving because we'll be working for a living. So yeah, and then Thanksgiving I'll be at work. Christmas we'll be at work because they don't close. It's a one-line thing, so they don't close. So yep, New Year's I'll be back in Cincinnati by then. So at the end of December, pretty much close up shop, and my lease will be up too. So and we're not re-signing a lease and we're leaving state at that point. So, no coffee for me, but I'm sipping my water. So yeah, they do water first and then coffee. Focus on the positive and rest when you can. Exactly. Yeah, we'll be doing a lot of cat naps and whatnot. But yeah, but grateful we're not going to stop good dunning. This train doesn't stop, and if Care Bear were to disappear, there may be a consideration of taking back her slot, or my slot, the time slot. It's not anybody's slot; it's the universe's. But at 8:30, I may consider going back to that time frame. If Care Bear is not consistently live, I will just grab it. I don't want to run over Care Bear, but at the same time, so we'll see what's going to happen here. But that won't happen until October anyway, so we'll take it from there. But then I also got to realize if I do that, right, it's 10 o'clock. So here's the other thing to think about is when I go back to Cincinnati, right? So when we move, we go back to East Coast time zone, unless I'm in Chicago. Then I'm doing the show at 10:30 my time. That's not going to generally work either. 10:30 my time if I'm looking for work and whatnot. So we're probably just going to keep the time slot because even if I'm in the East Coast, at 7 a.m. right at 5 o'clock, or 5:30, 6 o'clock would be 8 o'clock. So who knows? But we take it one step at a time, and so we keep it at 8 o'clock. But even that may be too early at that point if we got to find a job. See where we're going here. But so yeah, so 5:30. So the time advantage is to mine right now. Otherwise, there'd be good dawning would be literally 5:30 to 6:30. It'd be a good crackling dawning to say the least. But no, we're not doing that. So I'm grateful for the time change at the moment. And then we'll see what happens when we flip script here to the East Coast time zone. Myself, Clint, good dawning. So Clint, just an FYI, I'm gonna just kind of making this simple here. The show we're gonna shift to 5:30, half an hour behind. In September, we got a new job. But so here we go, guys. We're gonna flip up the curve cards here. So you call it, and I show it. And Hershey, thank you. You're in the mail, and it should be there in a few moments. 3 days, 2 days, however long the mail takes these days. But all right, thank you, Clint. Appreciate it. But yeah, so you guys won't see much. Like I said, Clint, you won't see much of me on YouTube at all, watching or being. Just in the dawning here, but we will get things moving. So what I'll probably do is set up shorts and ramblings and stuff and throw them out in the afternoon when I'm on lunch or break. And so we'll get things moving here, but who knows? But work lurking. See, Bethman, work lurking. So yeah, I'll be work lurking too with you guys shortly here, but who knows what their cell phone policy is. A lot of places are pretty chill these days and don't care, but a lot of places are like schools, right? You can't schools these days don't even want you bringing. Yeah, I always thought that's weird. So you have a phone now, right? But for an emergency, you can't bring it to an elementary school anymore. But not out here. You can't bring your cell phones to the schools. They will, if they see them, they confiscate them, and then they will call your parents to pick them up, but not even you. So yeah. They won't give them back to you. So yeah. But all right, so here we go, guys. But yet they have no payphones, so it's really weird. No cell phones in school, but yet there's no more payphones, right? So we have to go to the office and ask to use their landline if they have. I guess they have to have a landline, but all right. So here we go, guys. What card is this? We're gonna do colors here. Red, and black, of course. Then we'll flip over to the suits. And so thank you all for being here. I appreciate it. And as we cruise over 1,000 here and shuffle through changes, thank you. As we figured at some point we'd start after rolling with the changes here at Good Dunning, and at some point, right? I mean, it took a year. So grateful, but shifts do happen at some point. You just have to trust yourself and allow it to happen itself. Even better for me to get my. There you go. All right, so yeah, for September then, 6:30 to 7. Yeah, exactly. Ugh, sleep. The why? It's like the last frontier here. If we don't see you, Josh, it doesn't mean you're losing your friends or alone again. The friendship doesn't work like that. I know that. I know that. My traumatized self. Here we go. I'll give you why Millie says so. My traumatized self. Um, Generally speaking, because of the way I raised myself, right? And even though I had parents, I raised myself because they didn't want to deal with parents. I thought didn't want to deal with adults, and so yeah. So in my mind, right, not yours, but in the way I've set up my own head here, which isn't right. That yeah, everybody. My motto used to be everybody goes away in the end, right? And so if you stop talking, disappear, we're no longer you're gone. See you, take care. And so yeah, and then I just push you away, delete you, delete the phone number or what have you. I would because it's easier to create the pain myself, right? Then here's the deal: if you have a lot of trauma, and this is something we did not discuss on Jimenez's show, if you have a lot of trauma, you will create situations to cause pain for yourself. Why? Because you can control the pain that you cause yourself versus allowing somebody else to cause that pain for you. So what you end up doing is pushing everybody out of your universe. Why? So they don't cause the pain. You create that pain by pushing them out of your universe purposely. So you go, before you cause pain to me, right? This is what happens if you're traumatized. I'm going to throw you out of my universe. Then I'm going to delete you and make sure you can't hurt me, and I'll hurt myself by doing that. But that way I'm safe. It's retarded. Cancel that. It's I'm an 80s guy, so we say things from the 80s. It's not a very sound way to live, right? To invite people into your universe and then throw them away and kick them out of your universe so you protect yourself so that they don't hurt you. I'll hurt myself first, right? It's the crazy stuff that we do. Trista would probably understand that for sure. Anybody who's gone through trauma would understand the idea of wanting friends and then having them and then going, well, all right, I'm going to push you out now and push you away so that I can protect myself. So yeah, good dawning, Trista. Welcome, beautiful. So if you missed Trista yesterday, she was live again, not Memorex on Krista. So we had Trista and Krista. Say that 3 times fast. The Krista show, right? So we had the Krista show yesterday on Krista's channel on Blindly Inspired. And Trista went over. And so if you want to see pictures of Trista's past on Krista's channel, then you can take a trip backwards to yesterday and watch Trista on Krista talk about her trip to India, which was fantastic. A great show. They went almost 3 hours. So it was a 3-hour tour with Krista and Trista. And so yeah, you too can watch that at 1.25 and catch it, and so you speed it up. But there you go, guys. So yeah, check out Krista and Trista yesterday. It was a really good show, and actually would probably go very well at 1.25. So you don't have to spend 3 hours with. But yeah, it was an amazing show, and they filled the whole 3 hours and then some. They could have kept on going. Trista has a bevy of knowledge there, and a bevy of stories from her trip to India. And between both of them, who've both been to India, it was really fascinating and a really good show, guys. So thank you for that, Trista and Krista, the Krista hour. And Jimena good dunning as well. And again, thank you, Jimena, for Monday. If you missed the Monday, guys, I was live with Jimena, not Memorex. We talked about trauma drama and your mama trauma and your papa trauma drama and all that jazz that keeps us in the lower forms of or root and sacral chakras stuck in broken energies, broken sexual energies, broken physical energies, broken movement, broken everything, right? And so, yeah, so check that out as well if you missed it. We're not going to have much of an opportunity to go live again at noon. So if we do go live again, it would have to be probably at a different time at this point. With my schedule at noon being in the car, and I'll be at work at noon in September. But so yeah, So grateful. So there's the big shuffleophagus on the snuffleupagus, the big shuffleophagus on the channel here. Is that yeah? So let's do the curve cards, and thank you all, love you all. All right, so call the color as it comes up. Then we'll call the suit. You name it. If it's a heart, diamond, or a club, or a spade, you call that. But as we flip up the cards here, it's on you. All right, so here we go, and yeah, grateful, guys. I am grateful, majorly grateful for the shift and the change. It's going to get cold out there, and I'd rather have a night or two a week of cold at Red Rocks. It gets to the point where at the end of the season, 20, 30 degrees are outside, and it could be snowing. It could be 15 degrees, 20 degrees, because it's mid to end of November. Heart. Speaking of Heart, that's the band I parked last night. Heart. They sold out. Heart sold it out, but here's an interesting fact. Heart. More. It's getting to that point, guys, and think about ourselves for a minute, and think about this. So Heart started in 1973, like me, right? Or wait, even better yet, like that's why I wear this shirt. Outside of the fact that it's a cool shirt, is Patagonia started in 1973, just like me. So, but yeah, no, but yeah. So we had the largest amount of handicap placards for any show ever last night, even more than the Beach Boy, not the Beach Boys, because we can't call them the boys anymore because there's only one guy. So it's the Beach Guy and the Beach Dude who's left. But yeah, so last night we had more handicapped placards for Heart than any other band, any other time. It was mentioned next year or the year after if they're still touring. Although I think one of them 75 favor. Remember that? You think when you were a kid, you're like 75. Wow. And if you go generation backwards, right? And here's what's cool. And at least for us who are sitting here watching this, right? None of us here are 75, thankfully. But if you look at 75 now, right? You have Anna Nancy Wilson still on tour. I think Nancy Wilson had cancer favor, and she passed through that. And so yeah, and so all of this, and they're still on tour, and they did a 3-hour show. They gave you a 3-hour tour of their catalog last night at 75. And so remember when we were kids and you would see 75, you would think it's old, and it was old back then, right? So two generations, a generation ago, 75 was pretty dusty, right? Now you see 75 is like Peter, all of the singers from Frampton all the way down the line are all in their 70s, right? And so now, but they're still touring and stuff. And so it's amazing how, yeah. So even though craziness, right? Now just think about this for a second. Think of somebody modern, right? Like I don't know, Nine Inch Nails or Tool, right? Think of Maynard standing on stage at 75 years old. It's kind of hard to do, but exactly. So yeah, it's just crazy. They do much. The stamina that some of these artists have is just absolutely mind blowing compared to the audience for sure. But yeah, so a couple years from now, we're going to need like a whole extra handicap lot. They had to save 60% of our largest parking lot just for accessibility and handicap. So it's going to get interesting to say the least with these old bands that are touring, and exactly. So yeah, but so last night was fun. It was the most amount of handicap placards, and it was sold out. So since it was sold out, it was the least amount of carpool too. So we had like 10,000 people and like 8,000 cars, 7,000 plus cars, which is really rare. Usually you have 2 to 4 to a car. We were averaging like 1 point. Like they figured out it was like 1.4 people per car when it boiled down to it, or 1.6, we were like 1.4, 1.6 people per car. So that means that only there was only one person in one car, and then maybe a person, 2 people in one car. But generally speaking, people drove themselves to the show, which is not a thing you normally do at a concert. So yeah, we have people parking in spaces we've never parked before, but quite fun there. But so yeah, let's finish off the curve cards here. We're going to call the suits, and then take it from there. We'll do a channeling and kind of take it from there. Yes, Heart's cover of Stairway. Yeah. If you've never seen that, and I have, it's an amazing issue. Millie's dead spot on right there. So Heart's cover of Stairway to Heaven that they did for Led Zeppelin when they made it into they got inducted into I forget the president, the National Hall of Music Fame for the president. Well, I forget what the facility is, but at any rate, so yeah, it was amazing. If you've not seen that, just put in Heart and Stairway to Heaven, and check that out. It was like 10 years ago, 7 years ago. But yeah, all right. So here we go, and we'll flip up the cards here and see what we got. So what's the suit, guys? Is this, we know it's red or black. Well, let's do red or black first because we haven't actually done that either. So let's do red or black, and then we'll do the suits. So call it as we see it. And I got ahead of myself there. So call it if you see it. I'm going to flip this over here and see what we've got. Red is correct. Thank you, Tina. Appreciate it. Letty B. Good dunning. All right. All right. So call the next one here. Purple Christine. Good dunning. Grateful to see you. Red or black, guys. This is going to be too easy, and I'll explain in a moment. So red or black. I just picked up a random card off the table here. I'm going to flip it over, and it's red. So that being said, this is going to be stupid easy. What color are the last two cards, guys? All right. Exactly. Black. Sometimes your universe makes it easy, right? You don't have to deal with it. Red or black. It just makes it an obvious choice, right? And that's great because your intuition then either you like it or you don't. You back away or you go, okay, I'll take it because it's all there is. So let's flip. Otherwise, we're going to flip the cards over. This time we're going to do the suits, and that's really where it gets interesting. And again, this is an intuitive realm, so it wasn't just them interviewing me when I took the video interview for the job the other day, right? It's me interviewing them. Is this sounding comfortable? Who am I talking to? Did she sound like she had her head on her shoulders? Did she sound like she's representing the company well? Did they answer the questions about the company that I'm asking for? When you guys go for a job interview, don't be so beggy that, and I've learned this, if you go in there beggy for the job, energetically, you're not going to get it. But if you go in there like, I'm interviewing them because you are, is this a fit for me? It's not, are they going to accept me? Does this fit? You have to trust your universe, right? And really, that's only like 3 interviews out of like 1,100 resumes I've sent out. I got 3 interviews. So yeah, but I don't feel too bad. I just read an article. This guy sent out 19,000, was it 20,000 resumes and got 1 callback? And he's got a degree. So I don't know. You send out 20,000 resumes, right? And you get 1 callback, and you have a physical degree, a master's degree in your position that you've been looking for, and right. And then you start putting craziness. Yeah, crazy. Whoever invented AI gatekeepers for jobs, when you send an application, the AI gatekeeps it, and if you don't have the keywords, it just kicks your resume out. All right. But here's a little fact, if you didn't know this, about 40% of all job listings are fake. If you tell the government that you aren't full, right? If you make a position that you're never going to fill, and then you post it, and then you go to the end of the year and say, fill out your taxes, right? Did you have full employment? No. We have a position we created. We can't fill it, right? You get the idea. Company gets tax break, right? And so if that still stands, who knows? But the company will get a tax break. So when you're online, 40% of all job applications, jobs you're looking at generally are fake. They're just set up to give companies tax breaks to say that they have open positions. Yes, true. See, I got one into. So yeah, so 40% of all of your work that you're doing online, generally, waste of your time looking for work. Actually, you're better off going directly to the companies and applying through their websites. But yeah, so just keep that in mind. If you see the same job pop up over a 2-month, 3-month period, it's not a real job, or that it's a cruddy company, but it's most likely not a real job, and they're just doing it for tax break purposes and lying about it. But there you go. So when you're applying, it's a lot of discernment there. So out of the 2,000 resumes I put out, 800 of them may have gone to like fake jobs, and that's a lot of wasted time. But I had a lady ask me if I was interviewing with her attitude. I needed her, yes, because I actually need the job. The job needs me. Got it. Yeah. Anything you're applying for, if it's in your frame, then it needs you as well. You have the unique skill, and so you've already been matched with it. It's a matter of if it's the right one or not. But focus on the positive. Exactly. Fatima, good dunning. They also post positions you plan on hiring within the critical opportunity. This is Millie's got a good point too. Another 30%, 20% of all jobs you see out there are actually internal positions that have to be legally posted on the outside. But they have no intention of hiring you, even though you apply for the job. These things I've learned after years of job searching and whatnot. But if you want a job and you know what you want, go directly to the company and apply that way, or literally walk it through the front door. You want a job, walk it in and say, I have a resume I want to drop off at the HR. And that's the way to get a job. But is to walk in, say hi, and stick your arm out and say, I was walking by and I have my resume and I want to drop it off because I want to work here. A lot of places will still send you online, but they'll take your resume. They'll remember. All right, so here we go. Let's do the suits as well. But yeah, honestly, it ought to be, just in my humble opinion, not so legal to post a job just so that they can get tax breaks and say that they didn't have full employment, because it's not fun when you're looking for work and you don't even realize, wait a minute, that job's been there for, wait a minute, I see that job again and it's still there and it's still there. Wait, are they even filling this job? I would hire people who did that many times, by the way. Yeah, so Millie's correct. If you walk in and show that you got to walk in looking like nines, though, right? Don't just walk in off the street. Walk in like nines and just be like, look, this is where I want to work, and hand them the resume point blank if they let you through security, right? Security may be told to nope, you got to go online and force you out the door. I've seen that too, but no, generally, yeah, that's what we do. All right, so call the suit. Is this a spade, clubs, a heart, or a diamond? You call the suit there. The reason why we do this, just like when you're looking for work, right? When you're scrolling down through the job listings and you go, that's the one, it's your gut, it's your intuition that's telling you that, right? I mean, at that point, your universe is an open field, and where you land is going to create a new universe for you, right? Exactly. So what card is this? You picked the suit here. That's a haunting song from the Lost Boys. You know, it's a movie. I never saw the Lost Boys. I never even caught it. Like, you catch movies that you've never seen on like HBO or whatever, and you catch like the last 20 minutes or whatever back in the day. Never even caught a minute of the Lost Boys. Never caught it coming on. Never caught it on. We had free pay-per-view because we had the cable descrambler, right? So we had the descrambler with all the channels. Still never saw Lost Boys. I don't know how that happened. And still to this day. So maybe I'll take it to the grave, right? I was always going to take Lord of the Rings to the grave. Like, I never saw Lord of the Rings, but no, I actually have the deluxe box set. But, all right, so here we go. Ace of clubs. We'll do the next one here, and then we'll do a channeling and call it for today. All right, you call this card here. Oh, we did backwards. I just flipped it up backwards. So that's the Ace of Hearts. So here we go. I just pulled it right up and showed it right to you. Not even thinking. All right, so what is, we know the hearts are out there. So 2 suits left, you call it. Sometimes the universe will give you, there you go. Sometimes the universe will give you the clues and just give you the answer. So there we go. That's the universe giving you that bonus answer, right? So what's this? What do we have here? Is it what's left? Let's see if you guys remember. We're going to flip it up here. Ace of diamonds. And then, so that leaves the last suit. What haven't we seen? So there you go. Millie's got it, right? It's easy, right? Ace of spades. Once you get to the last card. But yeah, generally you don't want to go like that and show the card. But it happens. That's the first time we've done that. But so yeah, but grateful. And but yeah, you know what I've noticed, though, the disparagement on this country. I'm looking for jobs, right? So I've been looking like in Cincinnati, jobs 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 an hour. Then you go out here and it's like 22, 21, 23, 24, 25. Then you go to Florida, right? I was looking, just my eyes were looking $9, $10, $12 an hour. There's the customer service for $11.50, and it's like, whoa. So yes, scale of economy in this country is absolutely disparaging. It's an interesting deal. So looking for work in Cincinnati, I'm going to take less. But if I was like to move to Florida, I could go back to like what I was, making 20 years ago and 15 years ago in Cincinnati. It's an interesting deal how different places. But fortunately, at least if you're making that much, the scale of economy in Florida is lower than it would be like in Colorado or Chicago, where you can at least stretch your money a little bit. But yeah, if you were exactly, make it like third world. All right, so let's do a channeling real quick. We've got a couple minutes, then we're going to finish off with the Golden Healer, balance out this week. And so again, Friday, guys, Angela will be live, not Memorex, with us for her birthday. And that's the thing that's going to get weird here, because the show takes about 20 minutes for the show to crank up. It's like that dervish we used to Saint Germain would talk about, like a machine, like a wild machine. You got to crank it up. So now we have 20 in this chat, and for us that's pretty good, right? 20, 21, 22. Generally, any channel, that's where Victor's line, he 25, 30. But generally, 30 or below is, unless you're a bigger channel, is pretty good live, right? Not Memorex. And so, so it's going to be interesting when we go backwards a half an hour on September 2nd there, and go backwards see if it cranks up or if we just stick around. And that's fine. It's just going to be for a month, guys. But I'm grateful that because they could have done training at 10:30, which would have been better, 10:30 to 6:30, or 10 to 6:30, which would have been better for all of us. But for me too, because I would have been in two truth waves, right? But so yeah, bummer. I will miss the dawning truth waves. But all right, guys. So let's do a quick channeling, see what we get. We'll talk about change. Saint Germain, we are grateful that you are here, and we are here channeling through Josh for you to you today, right? We are talking about change, and sometimes change can be difficult, and sometimes change can be easy. But either way, what? You have to walk through it, right? If you don't change the baby's diapers, guess what happens? It gets difficult to be around, right? So if you don't make change as well, guess what happens? You will become the baby who gets difficult to be around, right? Because your behaviors get old, right? You become stale in your universe, right? Speaking of Dale, Stale Dale, and Dale, right? Happy birthday to Dale. If it is his birthday, right? We are not sure, but we are grateful for Dale, and hopefully he's not drinking pale ale for his birthday, right? We do not want him to break his energetic field, right? When you're drinking alcohol, it is going to break up your energetic field, right? You are going to throw haze into your field, which allows for, that's why you get karmic things happen to you, right? When you are drinking, because your judgment is off, your field is hazy, so you allow for haziness to come in, right? But nonetheless, what are you doing in your universe for change, right? We are talking about simple things, but we are talking about the bigger change, the change that have to occur to create movement in your universe, right? So for Josh, he got the job, right? And so what we are saying is that is the bigger change. We're not talking about the change you make during the day. You may watch this YouTube or that, or not talk on the phone for a little, or this or that. But the bigger, the grander source changes that you are talking about in your universe and looking for, right? We are talking the little stuff. So in your universe there, what are you doing to create the bigger changes? What are you doing to create the massive shifts in your universe? That is a bigger question we are asking of you today. What can you do to make those larger shifts once as he transition changes? There you go. So what are you changing in your universe? We are talking about this these little things that you might do during the day, or I'm taking quiet time or whatever. We're talking about the massive push to create the bigger shifts in your universe. Where stand in your frame for a minute and close your eyes if you can for Saint Germain. For yourself, really, anything Saint Germain is asking you to do is for yourself to see yourself in the highest best light, right? So what are you saying, right? Grateful. So from your end, close your eyes. What is the biggest change you want to make in your universe, and why are you not walking towards that change now? That is the question we are asking of you in your universe, right? What are the changes that you are not making? There you go, Barefoot Jimmy. Getting a higher pay soon. There you go, right? So what are you looking to do in your universe? How many of you out there are looking for work? How many of you out there are looking to make bigger change, to change your universe, right? To maybe get on track, to start YouTube, or to go to bed at a regular time, or shifting back to normal stuff, right? A lot of us here are living in trauma life, right? So you all go to bed at 3 a.m. and you just dervish your universe. You are centering up, right? So who here is needing to center up in their universe? And why are you not making those changes? That is the question. If you are needing to make change and you are not seeing the changes being made, right, then the question is what traumas, what karmic energies you are holding in yourself against yourself that you are using to block your forward progress? That is the question Saint Germain is asking of you today. How do you make forward progress if you are standing in your own way? If you are the roadblock, right, that you are looking for, that you are trying to get around, right? How do you do that? You have to clear your own blocks. And that is, we're talking about traumas, right? A lot of the reason why you're not moving forward, even though you want to, is you are living into dichotomies, right? So you are, I need to move forward in my life, but I am stuck in the trauma of the past, right? Until I clear that trauma of the past, then I cannot move forward in my universe, right? I am stuck in a frame that keeps me in the present, living in the past. Are you understanding what we are discussing here? And if you are you seeing that as part of who you are? It was for Josh, right? He was living as a 2-year-old, not even realizing it, as well as a 50-year-old, as well as all the brokenness that he had carried before that, right? And he had carried that in his frame. And so he's looking to move forward, but how can you move forward if you are framing yourself in broken energies? That is the question. So you have to reframe your house, right? You have to empty the trash can. You have to take the stuff out of your frame so that you can lighten your load. So that is the question. Good dawning, John, and Karma, good dawning as well. We are going to state this, so we'll go over at the end of the show. It's changes. There's big changes, but you will see. So from your end, are you carrying old dramas and traumas in your field and then trying to create from that, right? You cannot, right? You will be karmic to yourself. You will see yourself through that lens, right? You can only see yourself through the lens that you allow yourself to be present in. Are you in understanding? So if you're not present in your current self and frame and lens, if you are standing in a frame, in a presence that is past, if you are standing in your energies of traumas and dramas that have not occurred to you for years, right? But not even realizing it, then you are standing in patterns that are trying to protect you from something that may not have happened for 20 years. 30 years, 40 years, but you are still standing in that pattern. So you get up and you are karmic to yourself. You don't do X, Y, and Z. You yell at somebody. You do this or that, right? In your universe, you are doing what you are doing to protect yourself from what happened many, many moons ago, right? Are you in understanding? You are present. You are the present of your presence, right? Your present is your presence to yourself, right? So what are you standing in? You are the one who's framing your own house, right? You frame your universe based on the energies that you put into your frame. So if you are trying to frame your universe based on traumas and dramas that happened to you when you are 10, 12, 13, 15, 2, that is fine, but you are not going to get very far. You're going to create the same frame that you have been in all your universe. The first thing to do is to recognize that you are framing your universe from a traumatic standpoint first. Then you have to realize that the trauma in the drama is not standing in your frame at the moment. And then from there, it's a matter of forgiveness and clearing. But it's up to you what you choose to do in your living universe. So keep all of this in mind. When you are standing around in your frame today, are you even thinking about what is framing up your universe in your house, right? Or are you standing in energies? Are you standing in karmic energies and you know you are, right? And that is possible too. You know that you may be karmic to yourself. You know, a lot of you know that you cause traumas and dramas and put those into your frame. A lot of you know that you don't discuss things to yourself, with yourself, or around yourself. A lot of you know that you keep yourself in a box, right? So that is the question for you today, to release the box, to step out of that box, to step into cycle breathing, not box breathing, right? To step into energies that propel you forward instead of standing in frames that hold you in the frame of the trauma that occurred to you, right? Or in that traumatic frame. If you do not know you are in a traumatic frame, though, that is hard to do, right? You do not know that you are living from a karmic or traumatic standpoint, right? You do not know that you are pushing energies that are pushing people away, or you are pushing energies that are keeping you in a small space. For Josh, he finally realized that, and this is maybe why he got this job, but think about this a second, right? So if you are traumatized at 2, you're going to do what you can because that's your story now, right? You keep that. Good dawning, Henny. I love Henny. She is the funniest person on the universe, right? So Saint Germain loves you, Henny, because you are humorous and an amazing soul. You are all amazing. What are your gifts? For Henny, we know one of her gifts is humor, right? For sure. And we are grateful for Henny's awesome humor in our universe and in our chat, right? On the daily, right? But nonetheless, what we can say here in your universe and in mine, right? For Josh, right? Is that what are you framing your universe in? So if you are framing your universe from the energies of brokenness and karmic and trash and traumas and whatnot, right? So I am standing in that frame of the broken 2-year-old, right? And Josh had been doing that for years, not even realizing it. You will create that broken universe, right? You will create a universe that is dysfunctional for yourself, right? That'll throw you out of your frame. That won't work for you. Josh was talking about, he's saying keeping a small story, right? So if you have trauma that happens to you, right? And you want to keep that small story, right? Keep that trauma story going. You have to keep your universe broken and small, right? So for Josh, in order to keep that trauma going, and he didn't even realize he had it, his body was doing it intentionally, nonetheless, right? Sometimes it's just a protection, right? So we push everything out, make it small, compact, and no universe at all so that we are safe, right? So you sit alone, nobody can harm you, right? You sit in your house alone, nobody around, and you are safe, right? You have been protected by your universe. Are you in understanding what you do to yourselves, right? And we do these things to ourselves, right? For our own safety, so that we can, keeping the story alive. A lot of the reasons why you live in a small self, your small energies, is to keep your stories alive, guys. Do keep that in mind. We're not going to go much longer, but do realize you are the grand creator of your universe. So if you are not in presence and you are sitting in the past, in the frames of broken energy and what happened to you, you're going to create that universe where you're going to be small and broken inside yourself, right? When you see that, right? If you have traumas that you do not know you have, that's going to be a whole nother deal, and we will discuss that at another time. But for Josh, if he had never learned that he had been damaged when he was 2, right? Broken cycles. He just would have been this broken karmic cycle and not even understanding why. And when you get to that point, it gets a little goofy because you are doing things that you know you should not be doing. You are saying things that you know are karmic, but you do not know why you have this pattern. That is the most frustrating thing. And that's what happened to Josh, right? Gratefully, the body releases what it does in the trauma experience, right? Panic attacks and whatnot, heart fibrillations and sleepless nights and whatnot will eventually bring it out of you. But nonetheless, that's not a fun place to be, right? When you are standing in the karmic energies, not even realizing why you are karmic and what has happened to you to create that karmic energy in the first place, right? So be compassionate to people. Depending on the age of what the trauma was, it could be buried in most people's minds. They bury traumas, right? And so you are living a pattern that you don't even know you are living based on traumas you didn't know you had, right? There you go. So you're conscious living at its best, right? We are talking about conscious living at its best. When you have patterns based on traumas, you don't even realize that the traumas have been buried in your mind because they are too traumatic for you to really relive, to remember, right? Or you had no way to reorganize it in yourself, in your soul, and in your body. So keep all that in mind. We are Saint Germain, and we are grateful that we have channeled through Josh for you to you today. And we are going to release transmission. All right, so Saint Germain there. How are you seeing your universe? We're at an hour, so we're going to work with the Golden Healer. Speaking of that, yes, great visual, Hershey. I love those videos when I need a good laugh. What do we got from Hershey here? Bonnie, good dawning. Yes, cats are known for landing on their feet. Luckily, what a morning Kitty had a surprise. Hershey. Thanks, Tina, for sharing. Let's see here. She landed on her feet. Crazy how cats do that. And most humans do as well if they allow for it. That's another thing to think about here. Most of us will land on our feet, do land on our feet, already are on our feet. It's a matter of, can you see that, or are you still standing in old karmic energies? All right, so let's go work with the Golden Healer. Energy works through the internet like anywhere else, with your permission, of course, as well. We will close this out. So, but never take any energy that somebody just hands you. Always make sure that they're asking for permission, and never give anybody energies that they don't want. Never come into the room and say, all right, I'm going to heal you all, and start throwing off energies. That's not a nice thing to do. The only energy you are allowed to throw off to somebody without any question is what? Love. You do not have to give permission to say, I love you. You don't have to give permission in any aspect. You may want to ask for permission if you're going to be karmic to somebody, but if you don't realize you're being karmic, then they might realize it for you, but nonetheless, and tell you, hey, you're being, but nonetheless, as the universe spins around there, make sure that be the love. That's the only energy you're allowed to. I love you. Send that out without. Technically, you're not being karmic when you do. John, good dawning. If you're not subscribed to John, Fatima's brother there, good stuff. He's a rather talented guy on the guitar and can give you tours of Toronto and the Great North. All right, so here we go, guys. What are you trying to heal today? Ground this into your root chakra. And we'll go over, but just before we end here, for the guys who showed up a little later in the show, there's no late. You show up when you're meant to, because that's when you're. But yeah, we'll go over the changes that are going to occur again. Do you know the song, "The Boots Are Made for"? Nancy Sinatra. One of these days, these boots are gonna walk all over you. You ever play hear a song, then you don't hear this the music like at the end of the song? All right. All right, we're pulling energies. I'm pulling out myself. Pull those energies out from yourself. What are you looking to clear and heal today? Karmic wounds, karmic self for me. Sleep patterns. I could be at work at 2. So today is a really weird show at the Red Rocks. I think it starts at 4 till midnight. Is a electronica, electrometronica music, extraordinaire. EDM. I guess there you go. But I don't know. I'm old school when it comes to electronic music. If I remember the Chemical Brothers, or I go way back. All right, let's pull some energies out of our root and sacral chakras here. If you feel a tug on your sacral chakra or your root chakra, generally that's where most of us need healing. And then you got to activate your gut at that point. If you don't have your busted root and sacral chakra, then generally your intuition isn't generally well activated. That's why we're doing the curve cards. You can get around it to an extent by working with your intuition, so you can learn to tap into it and feel what it feels like, even though your root and sacral chakras may be blocked to the teeth. Chemical Brothers were nice. Finally, the chemical. There you go, Block Rock and Beats. Back with another Block Rock and Beats. There we go. But chemical Future Sounds of London. I go old school, like really old school. Goldie. There you go. If you know Goldie. Ani Size. DJ Shadow. Like real old school. We wouldn't even call it EDM because I don't even know what EDM is, really. But old school, like techno, trip hop, jungle, drum and bass. Then I'm also, and Krista might understand this. I went through an industrial phase. So Leibach, Front 242, all these German bands. So Krista might know some of these. KMFDM, if you know them. Krista should know KMFDM. They're pretty big in Germany. She may not, but all right, guys, let's clear this out, and we'll close out for today. Karma, when I was a kid, we had these 60s white boots that we put on, and we would say as a kid, I must have been walking 4 or 5 years, and would wear a scarf around me and sing that song. Awesome. Yeah, so there you go. So Blaine Spider came in. Yeah, so for about 3 years, when I lived in Champaign-Urbana. Tricky? Of course we know Tricky. Are you kidding? As a matter of fact, when I got rid of my music, because I had so much music, I had thousands and thousands, I probably had like 40,000 CDs. I dumped them all and just, used Rhapsody and whatnot now. But the only collection I kept was my electronic music. So I have my binder in my bedroom with all my electronic music. All right. The rest of it all went away. No more solid media. I used to have like 100,000 movies too, and I gave those away. I gave a lot of it to like a homeless shelter so they could watch movies. I don't know if they still have them. But... all right, so let's seal this off, and then we'll close out with a group hug. Tomorrow we will do intentional work. We did not do gratitude today. We'll do gratitude tomorrow. At least 3 times a week we want to do gratitude. Really, it's every day should be the attitude, but we're already after time. All right, so let me seal this off. I'll go over a few things, and then we'll close out. All right, hermetically sealed there to the universe. So if you're feeling energies today that may be shifty, relate back to the golden healer, this is an amazing hunk of stone here. It's you ever see a piece of golden healer, and this thing is fire. And so we're just waiting for Chloe to go live with her Chloe's at chloescrystalshop.com. And so when she goes live there, we will go live as best we can based on my schedule. And maybe the next day or the next at that point. But we will go live as well and tour her website and whatnot. But so all of you guys who are here who piled in late, as of September 2nd, extremely diverse and electronic taste in all eclectic taste in all things. Awesome, blindly inspired. No idea, and that impressive young Skywalker, impressive. But there was a point in the 2000s where German music was pretty much the big deal, and 90s and 2000 there. But all right, so. Anyway, so as of September 2nd, the show goes a half an hour backwards. So we start Good Dawning at 7:30 Eastern time, not 8 o'clock, for a month, due to the fact that I'll be in training for my job. Otherwise, everything's the same. I'm off at 4:30, so I just won't be in the early version of Truthwave, but you'll see me in the evenings. I may pop in and say hi, but otherwise, negatory on I'll be at work at 8 o'clock. And the Truthwave will start as the bell rings. I'll be bringing my bell to sit at my desk at work, but training class. But so secondly, we'll go back to our regular time on November or October 1st ish once I get out of training and go to my regular schedule, which will be 1:30. So to 10 p.m. So you won't see me then. Conversely, in the evenings. But all the morning stuff that we do generally, which is then we all go about our days and then what's going on. But like, I even be able to catch Meta at noon. So it's not super crazy, but you won't catch me in the evenings, guys. Unfortunately, Teresa, I won't be able to see her and a few of you guys otherwise. But so that's the big shift in the channel here. That's the big shift in the universe. That's the big announcement. And then Friday, we have Angela live again for her birthday. And so let's close this out, guys. And so Angela, I can't wait to see her live. And again, because she's amazing. And there was no, and if you look last night, there was no Laura B. We did not have Let Spirit Guide, Tarot and Oracle with Laura. Last night, she was feeling under the weather. So let's take a moment and send Laura all the highest love and see Laura. You can either see her physically in like her face, or you can just write Laura B in your mind, see it and blow it up in golden healing light, right? So take Laura and just see the word Laura even works just as well. And we're going to ignite that into a golden healing light and see Laura next week on her live there. But all right, guys, so let's close this out with a group huggy wuggy here. And so shifting is occurring. Gratitude is the attitude here. And so we're going to be crunching it 7 days a week for a couple of months working, but it's all good. It's all good. I've up until just a few weeks ago, I never had more than $2,000 in my bank account in any single time ever, period, in my entire life. So that's the truth. I'm not karmic about anything. I just tell you what it is. When you're karmic against yourself, that's when those things happen, right? But so now we start seeing the bigger self, and just it's the highest paying job I've ever had as the one I just got. So grateful, grateful to my universe. And all right. So let's close this out, guys. I will set up good dining again for tomorrow for some reason. And it takes a time. You realize if you've ever set up a live on YouTube through YouTube, it used to take 2 seconds because you just click schedule for later. If you click schedule for later now, you may have to click it not a million, but 100 times, 1,000 times before it'll finally flip over and give you a calendar. And sorry, it ended up with 2 shows on the 20th. Again, YouTube does what it does. And sometimes if you'll put the right date in, you'll save it, and it'll give you the wrong date. It'll put it to the wrong date. So I saved it as the 21st, but it came back as the 20th. At least it came back at 6 a.m. Usually it'll just go back to midnight, right? The next day at midnight. And then you just have to delete the whole thing and start over. But so somewhere that got broken, YouTube. But so sorry about that, guys. I will make sure I pay more attention. But generally speaking, when I set up the show for more than one day, the second day turns into the first day. Not even by purpose. It just happens. So that's why you've been seeing me set up one show at a time, is because the second show, when I set it up, comes back to the same date. So, and it did here, the 20th and 6 a.m. So it just mirrored the first show, which is really weird, but that's YouTube for you, right? Eventually, though, as we move forward, we'll use StreamYard and get on StreamYard. We'll get my StreamYard fixed up here and pay for it. Oh my God, can you afford to do so? Group hard time. Don't hug me so hard, too much love. You got it, John. All right, so let's close this out, guys. And so there you go. So just remember that KMFDM is better than the best. And there you go. No, just kidding. But I used to go to an industrial night. I had a whole group. There was like 2-3 years where I was like German industrial man. Literally, I'd listen to more German music. Leibach was a big one. Front 242 is always a good one. And they're all German. So here we go, guys. Left arm up to the person to your left. Right arm up to the person to your right. We're going to go ahead and send love. And we take that love out of our left hand from our heart. And we spin it out. Oof. And it comes around, and it'll come right back. And everybody's love is going to spin around. And we spin that around. So your heart, my heart, and each and every one of our hearts is spinning through each and every one of us. And as we spin that up, like the Large Hadron Collider, and as we huddle up, like we are in rugby, but we're not going to push ourselves up and down the field, right? You see that rugby scrum huddle, right? So there we go. So as we take that love and we spin it around, it goes faster and faster and faster. And your heart, and Blindly's heart, and Karma's heart, and Millie's heart, and Henny's heart, and Lottie's heart, and Victor's heart all spin around. And as we speed it up, merge into one bigger heart. And we take that love and that merging of our energies and that spinning of our love and our energies as it spins through each and every one of us. And we feel each of our heart chakras. We lock it up like a reverse tornado. into the greater source field, and we spin it up and hold it there. And we see each and every one of us in the greater source field in peace and love. And we see each and every one of us here on this channel at this moment in peace and love as well here. And we see everybody in the greater source field. I'm going to knock a hole in that wall one day. We see everyone in the greater source field. The wall's rather thin. With 4 walls, thicker than these, right? With 4 thicker walls than these. No, but everybody has a right on this planet to a decent home, and there's no reason why anybody should be living in a mud hut or or even a beat up trailer or a tent or in a cave or wherever you are under a bridge if you're Anthony Kiedis in the early 80s, right? So wherever you're doing in your universe, everybody deserves a home. And you can put that home in Texas with 2,000 square feet. You can give everybody a 2-bedroom home with 2,000 square feet and an acre of land. Where? Deep in the heart of Texas. Why? Because the stars at night really are bigger and brighter. Where? Deep in the heart of Texas. So just keep that in mind there, that we don't have a population density problem. We really don't. If you can shove everybody in Texas, every man, baby, woman, and child, give them a 2-bedroom house and 1,000 an hectare of land, an acre of land. Yeah, exactly. We have an inner city density problem. So we see each and every one of us in those homes with fresh water. Why? Because it's important. And why? Because there are 6 devices that have been invented. If you go online and look, that you can put the box on the table. As long as there's humidity in the air, you can pull water out of thin air. Why is that important? Because everybody needs water. There's no reason why anybody should be drinking water that has been drug up from a river or a stream or a muddy hole and then boiled for hours on end just so we can clean it out, and then sitting for more hours on end just so it can cool down so you can finally drink a glass of water. There's no reason for that on this planet when you can get a box, stick it on the table, or dig a well, whatever it is. And in that same house that you're living in Texas, there's no reason why anybody shouldn't have fresh fruits and vegetables. Sadly, we grow enough, but sadly, 50% of everything we grow on this planet either rots in the field, dies on the boat, sits along the shores. You remember when the Mississippi was not rising a few years ago and all the fruits and vegetables died along the banks of the Mississippi. There's no reason for any of that if we have a little more care in how we manage our food and each other. There's no reason why anybody on this planet should ever go without a decent meal, because we produce way more food than we obviously can even handle and ship around and deal with in the first place. We see the governments of the world apologizing for the grifting, grafting, lying, stealing, and whatnot they've done to their citizens, their fiat currency, and otherwise, their medical system, and otherwise that they've been grifting and grafting to them, letting them think is what it really is when it's really not what it really is. We see the militaries of the world realizing that they've been lied to and putting their weapons down and shaking hands and apologizing and hugging those they otherwise would have eliminated from planet Earth in 3D for absolutely no reason other than that they were grifted, grafted, lied, and stolen from, right? So, yeah. And we see those governments who have been doing such sad and sad things there, apologizing and having a ultra marathon. There you go. So whoever can run 150 miles and not puke and drop out, and they can probably be, I don't know who would be at this point, Putin maybe, since he still is a 10th degree black belt in judo. But maybe, otherwise, who knows? But yeah, and they can say that they're running the world and running the show and doing whatever the heck they think they're doing or not doing for you and to you, or for you and to me, right? So there we go. And then we see each and every one of us here on this channel in our highest loving light. We see all healed, all illnesses healed. There we go. All ailments healed. All financial situations, boom. All jobless situations reversed. All karmic friend situations healed. We see everything in your universe watching this channel right now, loving, abundant as you see it as abundant, and healed as you see it as healed. We see you in the highest loving light and the healingest loving light, the huggiest loving light as well. There we go. But we love, and we see, of course, Mother Gaia with no X's, rose in the sky. We see no plastics or forever chemicals on her earth or in her waters as well. We take that love that we have spinning up like a reverse tornado in the greater source field, and we release it to the greater source field. And as that love floats up and merges with the love of everybody else in the greater source field, our hearts and your heart merges with everybody in the planet and in the greater source field, and we feel and see each other in that greater source field and send them all love and peace. We see each other in that peace, and we say, as we release to Mother Gaia and to each other, hallelujah, so it is, and so it shall be for today. Sealed. There we go, guys. All right. Thank you with the muchness. Next stop is Truth Wave. So if you're riding the bus, the next stop on the good dawning bus is Truth Wave with Victor there. And next week we will have Care Bear back after Truth Wave at 8:30. And the following week you'll have me back, not Memorex, a half an hour early. So keep that in mind. Just for a month, and then we go back to the our regularly scheduled time, which is still darn early for me. But there are reasons for things that happen that we don't yet know. So there's a reason why I'm up. It's the crack of dawn there. But thank you guys. I love you all. Remember, everything you do or don't do helps you create your loving, living universe. If you're still sitting around in your darkness, as you release your darkness to your light shines in, your darkness spreads out, your cells spread out, your darkness leaves your body. You feel like you've lost 50 pounds, and you vibrate faster. Doing what? Creating your loving, living universe. All right, guys. Stay awesome because you are. And I will see you all tomorrow in the next. Thank you. Grateful. And at some point, not today, because I got to be at work at 2. I do have intentions, and so it's just finding the best weather day, and so it'll be whatever day it is shortly, because I only have a week or 2 left before we switch and go downtown. You'll see me parking, going live from a cool mountain spot on my way to work, Red Rocks. And otherwise, so I'll go live from there. And otherwise, thank you guys. Stay awesome and have a day as amazing as each and every one of you are. Love you guys.